From the Loudoun Times-Mirror newsroom, this is LTM Live. Sponsored by Charlestown Races and Slots, the hottest slots around.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Coe. This week's webcast will feature an interview with John Flannery, an environmental lawyer and an active opponent of the PATH power line coming to Western Loudoun. But first, here are some stories we're working on for the July 29th edition of the Times-Mirror. Are burglaries on the rise in Loudoun? How President Obama plans to help community colleges, including Northern Virginia Community College. The latest news on water rate changes for Leesburg residents. Now, here's Paul Smith and John Flannery.
John, I wanted to talk to you today, of course, about the PATH power line debate. And I know there's three factors here: the need, health hazard, and the disruption of historic land. What do you think the main reason for not having the power line built is?
Well, I think you've outlined the three major categories very well. We don't need this power line. The power line people, they need it for profits, and they're going to get a 14.3% profit at a time when our economy is it's very hard to get a return like that. So we don't need it. We don't need it electrically because we have capacity. In fact, the demand has dropped in the East Coast, and if we were going to make any kind of power adjustments, this is not the way to go. Toxic coal power plants are not the way to go. In fact, this state has got a very ambitious project at looking at wind power off the East Coast, so the transmission line wouldn't be in the right place. Second of all, health. The current source of power for this power line would be these toxic coal plants to the west of us. And they throw into the air literally tons of carbon dioxide. And it's not just about global warming. We breathe that stuff. It goes into the water. It goes into the air we breathe. They also throw mercury into the air and nitrous oxides. So it's poisonous at the origin, and we're creating a demand to bring it here. But it's also dangerous in the area. These transmission lines transmit low-frequency electromagnetic radiation, which means that they measure at milligauss, tiny little measures of magnetic power. Well, this sets out enormous magnetic power, and it affects people who are not only pregnant, say, there have been studies showing it causes leukemia, but if you happen to use a pacemaker, a defibrillator, easier to understand than to say, then you can be affected by it because of the electrical device itself. The tiny little magnetic impulses could cause it to stop, which could be a death experience. And just north of Lovettsville, there happens to be a seniors settlement there, and they're in their 80s and 90s, and they have these devices. So this is not fiction. Finally, we have such a historic and natural legacy that has been attracting people to our community and kept people here and made us prosperous, particularly in the western part of the county, but also the eastern part of the county. And these people are prepared to trash and burn it so that they can get profits. This is an example in which this is about greed, it's not about need, and they don't care about us, and they won't even answer questions. I'll be surprised if they come on here and answer a single question. They'll say, you wait and watch and see what happens at the SCC. And they think they have that wired. But there's not a citizen I can find that supports this thing, and I think they're going to find that out when we get to the SCC hearing.
Join us next week for an interview with a representative from Allegheny Energy, a supporter of the PATH power line. Now, here's Hannah Hager with entertainment.
Outhouses kind of went out the window with indoor plumbing, but the Loudoun County Fair is bringing it back with a great outhouse race. Businesses and individuals and families are encouraged to design and build outhouses for a race that's taking place July 26th through August 1st. Also, there will be a rodeo and barrel racing, 4-H shows, and a carnival with funnel cakes and more food. For more information, check out their website, loudouncountyfair.com. Also, remember that the Loudoun Times-Mirror has joined Twitter. Follow us at LTM News. That's it for this webcast, and we'll see you next week on LTM Live.